Mr. President, you should be ready to go.
All right,
Ms. Jones, if you can hear us, give us a thumbs up.
all right.
Thank you.
John, you have a seat. Willie, get your pad there and start writing down the, anyone that's on Zoom that wants to have a few minutes, public comment at the beginning, if you'll please identify yourself and we'll, get you, written down on the, request to speak. You can unmute yourself and
I think we have to allow them to unmute now.
Once we find out how to do that.
Should be able to go into this setting. I don't know where.
Yeah, I'm everywhere here.
You could proceed with our other agenda items and come back to public comment if the commission would want.
well, I'd like to get them now since, there's a number of them on there
All
and
right.
just to make
Okay, go ahead,
sure.
Mr.
Do we have anyone in the hallway that's waiting to speak?
We're unmuted at your leisure. If you'd like to ask if anyone.
Did you sign up, sir?
No, I haven't.
All right, Willie, make sure that they're, signed up. All right, once again, anyone that's on Zoom, if you, want a few minutes of public comment, I need to know who you are. If you'll please identify yourself now. How come we're only showing the, phone?
Quick question. Can we remain anonymous?
No,
No, you cannot.
no.
Okay.
If you'd like to speak, go ahead and tell us who you are.
My name is Andrew McCoy.
Okay, Andrew. Anyone else? All right, hearing none.
Mr. McCoy.
All right, do we have, people in attendance, Willie?
Yeah, Mr. Southern, here in person. Andrew McCoy, attending by Zoom.
All right, and Johnny, how come? And, we have a gentleman down here that, wants to get on the rails, the trail, take down that old dilapidated house. Yeah. Yeah, we don't need public comment, please, for the meeting starts.
Right, we're just gonna have some number, so the list. Andrew McCoy, if you can hear us, would you give us your phone number?
Get the music because somebody's placed us on hold.
Okay. Andrew McCoy, can you hear me? Beat them all, Johnny.
Yay.
Should be able to hear us now, Ms. Jones, correct?
Yes.
Sorry, Mr. President.
All right. First item of business, before we go to the estate of the Ashcraft, public comment period. Mr. Parker, who do we have?
We have Mr. Southern, who's here in person, and then Andrew McCoy, who is by Zoom. Mr. Kelly is item 8 on the agenda already, so
All
Mr.
right.
Southern would be the first gentleman.
Mr. Southern, we'll give you 5 minutes, sir. Come on up, identify yourself for the record.
Phil Southern.
You can sit.
Gentlemen, I've been here before, and I'm here again on the same issue. It has to do with the annex, and I would certainly like to have some answers to the validity of this project. As a person, I've talked to several different people, many people. I've yet to find one that's in agreement with spending this money for this annex. There seems to be a lot of comment about it and a lot of ideas about how to do it and how not to do it. But again, this is one tremendous debt load. And the way this normally works is if this money is spent by this commission, and I understand the first phase of it is somewhere close to $20 million. And when you do those numbers, they get astronomical when you add the interest and you prorate that over a 20-year period. In fact, you're looking at like $1,400,000 a month for 240 months, or $3,750 for 7,305 days. And that's no days off for Christmas or New Year's either. And that type of expenditure under this time, when I say this time, I'm referring to this state is under attack for its fossil fuel industry, both coal and natural gas. We don't know how long they're going to be here if this present group of people from the Democratic side gets elected. Joe Biden has swore that he will get rid of coal within 5 years. And that would have a dastardly effect, not only on West Virginia, but the Harrison County in particular. Harrison County's, as I understand it, biggest revenue stream is the Harrison County Power Station. And that would be under attack and could be defunct within that time frame. The second biggest tax revenue is Robinson Run Mine, I think. And that would also go right down the drain with that proposal that Joe Biden has. But with that revenue stream under attack and us committing this county to that type of expenditure, it just seems like we should seek some other means to do this job. You know, there is many vacant buildings. In fact, last Saturday, I just had the option or the opportunity, and I came up here and just sit and looked over around the buildings and what is vacant around here. I look at the Pat Kelly Pub next door, the one that I understand is going to be torn down for a cost of $1,007,000. And I look next door at the building in Gulfsat, the Chase building, that sold for $400,000. And I just have to think, there's something wrong with this. There was something wrong with this proposal, and we need to do something different. And so I beseech all you guys. You know, I know the president here, Mr. Watson, is a lame duck. And I think Mr. Treecost over there is against, and I think Mr. Hinkle's for this project. But I would strongly suggest that we wait until the next election cycle and see who the next commissioner is before we spend that money. Because it's just an amount of money. You know, I really feel guilty about something that I did or I didn't do, because I objected also to the Harrison County Cultural Center up there at the Robinson Grand Theater. And when they originally talked about funding that project, they talked about $7 million. I realize this is a county and that's a city, but when they funded that thing, I understand it might have been as much as $21 million. And I'd like to know how that's working, okay? Because I suspect that somebody's, the county or the city is making a tremendous payment on that debt up there to that cultural center when it's really of not a lot of value at this point in time. And we've got all the money, I guess, to spend on fixing the jail. I don't know what that is. I've heard you people speak of it, but there's another big block of money that's gonna be needed to fix the county jail. So with all these things coming, it looks to me like we should sit back and take another look at this project and see if there's any other way to come up with a better way to spend this money. And I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you, and I hope you will reconsider and give it more thought. Thank you
All right,
much.
thank you, Mr. Sutherland.
Thank you for your time.
All right, Mr. Parker?
It's Andrew, McCoy, I do believe.
Mr. McCoy, if you can hear us, unmute yourself, and you have 5 minutes.
Thank you, sir. So, before my main point, Zoom sucks, use Jitsi. In fact, the county should be moving towards using free and open source software in general, but that's beside the point. I basically called in because I saw what happened last week with Mr. Griffin, and I was moved to call in and speak about how white supremacy is alive and well in Harrison County. And this isn't just about the Stonewall Jackson statue. I've seen graffiti on various signs, particularly, specifically at the construction site on the bridge in Clarksburg. Somebody spray painted 88 on each of the signs in front of that construction area, and I also saw 88 spray painted on a speed limit sign in, I believe it was but maybe not in Hepzibah, but like right outside it. And if you don't know, 88 is a neo-Nazi dog whistle. 8 is the 8th letter of the alphabet, which is H, and HH means Heil Hitler. And these people do exist. I just saw one a couple weeks ago. He had a bunch of, he was riding a bike shirtless, so he must have been proud of his tattoos. He had a swastika on a Confederate flag tattoo. He had a 1488 tattoo, which 1488 is a combination of the 88 dog whistle I just mentioned with combined with the 14 words, which are we must secure the existence of our people and the future for white children. So, you know, that's nice. And I don't know if it's just one person doing it or a group of people doing it, but this graffiti needs to be removed. I realize we've already voted time and time again on the Stonewall Jackson statue. I don't expect anything to happen on that, but I also don't want this statue to be there. I mean, it's not even the original statue. It's a recasting of a statue that's in Charlottesville. And the other thing that moved me to speak today is today is the 3-year anniversary of the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville. Yesterday was the anniversary of a bunch of neo-Nazis marching on, I believe it was the Charlottesville courthouse, but I could be wrong on that, with tiki torches shouting things like, "Jews will not replace us," and "Blood and Soil," which is a Nazi slogan. And today it will be the 3-year anniversary of the murder of Heather Heyer at the Unite the Right rally. So that's really all I had to say, unless the commission has any questions for me.
All right, well, thank you very much, Mr. McCoy. We appreciate your attending this. Thank you very much. All right. Anyone else? No one else is.
No one else for public comment period.
All right, we'll move right on. At 10 o'clock, we have a hearing on the estate of Irvin Ashcraft, petition to probate a holographic will in solemn form. Mr. Marsh.
Before he begins, I believe there was some miscommunication here. We thought that you were setting this for a hearing. Didn't get the agenda till Monday, so notices were not sent, but I think Mr. Marsh is has an idea.
All right, ladies, come on in and have a seat.
So essentially, commissioners, as Clerk Watson said, no notice was sent out in this case. So I question, how much we can get done today, but I have a proposal anyway. Now, Mr. Ashcraft passed away, and we were attempting to get a holographic will placed. He had 3 children, Auburn Kennel, Amber Schumann, who are with me today, who are my clients, and then a 3rd child, Roderick Ashcraft. And our position, right now, this is an intestate estate. Those are the 3 heirs. So obviously, we would need Mr. Ashcraft to finalize anything today. What we would propose is, to the extent that we can, have my clients testify as to their belief that this is a their father's handwriting. They believe their brother would agree to this, and so what we would ask to do is see if he will agree, submit an agreed order signed by Mr. Ashcraft for the county commission's consideration at its next meeting, if we can secure one. That way we don't have to come back and present testimony if not necessary. If all three heirs are in agreement, that would be what our position would be on that.
Could we, any decision we make, could we do it with a stipulation that, the brother then agreed to it and would sign, Willie?
Mr. President, as far as I know, after verification from the two witnesses today, getting on record that they are verifying or testifying that they, in their opinion, this was their father's
Yes,
handwriting, it is a valid intention of what his, or valid representation of what his intentions were. And, the commission could then, if you accept that, could approve that, put the will into place as presented, pending an agreed upon order, as Mr. Marsh has said, from the one individual that did not receive notice.
All right, Susan, any comments? You all right with that? All right,
So it would just be a matter of putting the two, individuals here under oath,
all right.
giving their statement or testimony, whatever Mr. Marsh would want to put on the record for the commission, and then the commission to consider that and move
All right.
forward or not.
Let's pull up an extra chair, ladies, and come on up here beside your attorney.
Commissioner, do you need copies of the petition?
We probably need to, take a look at the will. We don't have any documents. So we
Okay,
need-
I have,
Yes, you should have in your packet a
Oh.
copy of Mr. Marsh's.
if you want hard copies, I've got hard copies for all of you.
That's, you need a hard copy? No,
Okay.
that's fine.
And the will itself is the last page of the petition.
All right. Ladies, if you'll, raise your, right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give in, on this matter is the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You're duly sworn. Mr. Marsh, this is to you.
Okay, Ms. Kendall, we'll start with you. Have you ever seen the can you place your name on the record first?
Auburn Kennel.
Okay, Ms. Kendall, have you ever seen the document that I provide to you, the copy of a handwritten document?
Yes,
And what kind of document is that, to your understanding?
my father's will.
And why do you believe that's his will?
He stated it many times. He called it the black book in his will.
And is the black book what I'm holding
It is.
here? So essentially, can you explain what this is and show to the commission?
It's a document he kept over time,
I
stating
did
his
so.
last wishes.
Okay, and what we've done, and we have the original of that, correct?
You do.
Okay. Is that the original?
And that is,
Is that are you familiar with your father's handwriting?
very,
Is that your father's handwriting?
it is,
Did your father ever print his signature?
frequently.
So it wouldn't be unusual for him to print his signature?
It would not.
So you believe that this was intended to be his will?
It was.
Would you ask the commission to admit that as his last will and testament?
We do.
Ms. Schuman, can you identify that document?
First, could you give us your full
Yeah.
name for the record?
Amber Schuman.
What is that document, Ms. Schuman?
My dad's will.
And how do you know that's your dad's will?
We've talked about it many hours.
Do you believe it's accurate, he intended that to be his will even though it's, not typed?
I do.
Is that it's completely in his handwriting, is that correct?
It is.
Are you familiar with his handwriting?
Yes.
You laugh, why do you say that?
We did generator jobs together for 7 years, and I constantly had to read his handwriting.
Did he, when he signed his name, did he do cursive or print or a combination of each at different times?
Both.
So it wouldn't be unusual for him to print his name as a signature?
No.
Would you ask the commission admit this as as your father's last will and testament?
Yes.
Do the commissioners have any questions?
No questions from here. Susan, do you have any questions as we do this? Patsy? David? Do I, entertain a motion to accept this, with the conditions?
Yes.
If you want to state that for the record, Mr. Marsh?
So what we would ask the commission to do is to approve the admission of this holographic will to probate pending approval by Mr. Roderick Ashcraft, the third heir. So if we cannot submit Mr. Roderick Ashcraft's agreement as part of an agreed order, 'cause what I would do is prepare an agreed order for the commission to enter, but I'd do that prior to, what I would do is prepare that, have Mr. Roderick sign it, I would sign it, send it to Mr. Parker for the commission's review, based upon the commission's findings today. So he would have implicitly, he would explicitly agree to this. So in the event that he wouldn't, the commission's decision today would have no real effect. No effect at all, actually.
All right,
The motion as Mr. Marsh has said.
all right. Any further discussions? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Go in peace.
Yes, the one thing we would ask is there any possibility it'll be placed on the next agenda in case Mr. Roderick Ashcraft does not
We
agree?
can do that.
Okay,
If you'll just forward me an email as a reminder,
okay.
and I'll let you, I'm not sure what's scheduled so far. I can give you a time if need be.
Okay, so I'll send you an email, Mr. Parker, and you can post on, and then obviously if we get the order in, we won't need it.
Sign off.
All right, thank you, commissioners.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, John. Copy us and everything.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank
I'll
you.
copy you and June.
Appreciate it.
All right,
You got
let me, get Mr. Kelly here so he doesn't have to sit. We'll go to number 8, review, discuss, and consider the Rails to Trails project for Victory Construction Company. Mr. Kelly, the floor is yours. You were here at the last meeting. I thought we'd already taken care of this.
Well, I mean, I thought we did too, but I didn't know what I needed, and I just,
That's fine.
a young lady told me to email, and I got on it. Basically, I suppose what I need to do, we know where the house is. I need to enter the Rails for Trails at the VA, go under the tunnel. I'll back out. I gotta, take an
How far is that
there's
house
probably,
down there?
probably not quite a half mile.
That's the one you can just barely see the
Yeah.
top of the roof?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know how you'd get it up on 25.
You can't. I mean, there was a slip there and they built a wall.
Yeah,
Evidently, the slip was caused by some water rerouting, but anyway, I think there was a set of steps there that they went down to it and they
Wow.
even took them out.
yeah.
But the lady, I've got the asbestos report, they had it tested. Basically, all I need is access, and where you go in, I might end up putting a little bit of gravel. There's some posts that goes down over, and they got padlocks on the bottom. I'll probably need to get someone to unlock or a key to unlock them and take them up and maybe put a little gravel so I don't run whatever's on the bottom through a tire or something.
All right.
And then I'd say 6 loads, triaxle loads. I'll just back the truck from there down and I'll have someone there to watch and, to monitor any, I don't know if we could put temporary clothes there the day we do it, or just have someone there walking forth, make
I
sure.
would think, Mr. Kelly, if you, let us know when you're gonna, go back there, we'd get one of our maintenance staff, Welly, to, get the key and maybe access probably one of our general locks, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and
It'll just be a day.
I'm gonna try to get in early and have everything out and do it, 'cause I'll probably go to S&S with it, which is out around 19, and get it all took care of. And then if we if we do any damage, you know, get over on the
Right.
side or anything, we'll rework it or whatever. If we need to put a little bit of chips back down or something, I'll make sure I fix anything
All right.
back.
Any questions? Well, pass it. David? No objections? Motion to that effect? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Willie, does he need any kind of documentation? You wanna do a letter or?
Yeah, if you could just let me an email of
Okay.
when, and I'll just confirm
There
as
we go.
per our
Okay, yeah,
discussion.
well, like I said, I'll make sure. I wasn't sure I thought I was gonna have to do the asbestos survey, but they already had it done. I met the guy this morning. Yeah, I can give you insurance.
Probably wouldn't be bad to have just a copy of that scanned or a
Okay.
copy sent to us with
Okay.
a certificate of insurance.
Okay, we can do that. I'll send my contractor's license and
Right,
stuff like that to you.
okay.
Mr. Kelly, thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, payroll change notices, what's pleasure? All right, all in favor, say aye. Questions, David? No? Exonerations, corrective tickets, joint property applications.
Must have done when I was out.
Okay, no.
That's why I didn't say anything.
They're getting heavier.
I know.
Yeah.
After approval, sign, you need to back up and do the consent agenda.
How about that? Thank you very much. I got ahead of myself, didn't I?
That's all right, boss.
All right, on the exonerations, corrective tickets, and joint property application. Approved, disapproved? Approved. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Item 2 is consent agenda. I'm sorry, I missed that one. Move to approve. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Consolidation of land, segregation of land.
We have none.
Item 6 is consider, approval of project fund. Do we have any, for that?
Not to my knowledge.
All right. Item, 7, is review, discuss, consider reaffirming the public access courthouse hours. I asked for that to be put on the agenda. I've had, through my observation and talking with other staff that comes in at the regular time at 8:30 anyway, why are we not allowing the public to come in? Is there any big issues on that, Mr. Parker?
When we adopted our, operations plan as it relates to the COVID, pandemic, one of the items in that was to allow, a time period for, staff to get through the entranceway because, you know, it's a little bit quicker now that we have some of the, monitors in place to take the temperature, but allow staff to get through the entrances without commingling with the public, and, you know, if the public's here at 8:30 waiting for the door to open, the staff not being able to get in, at the same time. And then also allowing staff adequate time to, clean their desk, phone, wipe down their phone, computer, desk, counter areas, whatever the case may be, before the public would come in. Right now, according to the operations plan, that was approved by the commission, the county facilities are open at 9:30, to the public.
All right, I can just, share with you, if, any of us wanna monitor, check out what's going on. I think it's a waste of tax dollars if we're supposed to be here at 8:30 and that's the hours to, staff's not usually, mostly in all the other offices are here. That's just my feel, and that's the reason why I put it, on the agenda, but you know, whatever the commission wants. I'm telling you, you're wasting tax dollars and the people are coming in with the Third Street side. I don't know if you're doing numbers or anything on that, but, it's a lot of downtime, it seems like. So your main entrance is still the front.
Yeah, the main entrance, the staff come in both entrances.
Correct.
You know, and we have those starting at 7 o'clock, because that's when security opens the, you know, the doors for, you know, for whatever reason, that's been the practice. So we staff those, entrance points at, starting at 7 with the temperature checkers, questionnaires, whatever you want to call, questioners, whatever you want to call those individuals. We have, as well as then in the garage area, those individuals. I would still recommend, whatever the time period is, that we have a time that staff can enter without the public being in line to also enter. Otherwise, we may have staff 10 people back waiting to get in, and versus being able to go ahead and get in, get their items taken care of, get their area, workstations cleaned if they need to be cleaned, or wiped down for their satisfaction, as well as, you know, starting the work, you know, just because the public is not here does not mean that there's not work to be accomplished and to be done.
Do some observations, Mr. Parker.
Oh, I have, I understand that. You know, if we have a situation where, people are arriving at 8:30 and they're doing nothing till 9:30, that's a supervisory problem.
And that's correct. And the only thing we do is set the courthouse hours. We don't work for people except county commission people.
That's correct. I'll pick on Ms. Thomas since she's here, not saying this is the case at all, but if her staff is coming in at 8:30, drinking coffee till 9:30, not doing anything,
That's our problem.
that's Mrs. Thomas's,
I will take care of that.
Mrs.
No
Thomas's
breakfast, no,
issue to correct.
Right. But to wipe down your station and all that could take a matter of 5 minutes.
Yeah, now, you may want to delay or move it back from 9:30 to 9.
I think that.
I mean, I think that would be my recommendation at this point, based on my observation of when people are coming in. That gives us time to come in, time to get it situated. I would make that recommendation to move back to a 9 o'clock opening.
All right, Patsy? David?
Doesn't matter to me.
It doesn't?
I just, anything to keep the public and our employees separated, that's all I care about.
All right, so, Mr. Parker, your, recommendation then is, 9 o'clock
Yes, if that's
for general public.
for general public,
All right,
and,
I can live with that. Still do some unannounced,
right,
observations.
Motion to.
All right, we have a motion to approve, 9 o'clock. Any further discussion?
effective Monday the 17th, satisfactory? All right,
All in favor, say aye. Make sure, security, is aware.
yeah, I'll send an email out to everybody, as well as make sure the paper is aware, and,
All right,
change our,
Why does, I mean, just ask the type of why security opening the doors at 7?
I'd have to follow up and ask why that has been standard practice.
Nobody comes to work in my office. Well, I shouldn't say
I
that.
mean, in the past,
I know that, for the court's, purposes, I think probation actually has people coming in at 8 o'clock.
yeah, there's some probation that make appointments, or magistrates or family courts that make appointments. In the past, there have been some offices where the employees were coming in at 7 o'clock and starting to work, not in Ms. Thomas's office, that I'm aware of ever, but I know it's passed in the assessor's office and maybe some in the tax office or,
We had one in the circuit clerk.
circuit clerk's office. If, the commission does not want that to happen, we can
Well, I think you need to make an inquiry. I mean, the question has been asked. I don't know.
I don't-
Why we're paying people to be here.
I don't see the need to have,
Courthouse doesn't start working till 8:30.
And it always concerned me a little bit, because people are getting in and just wait, we're not even open yet.
yeah,
I could
They could
see
be sitting in the hall.
You know,
yeah.
I mean, I can see 8 o'clock, I
Yeah.
don't understand, so.
I will follow up and report back to the commission.
just remember, it's the taxpayers' dollars, and that's who we work for.
Yep,
All right, moving on, item 9, consider agreements with PSD consolidation. Mr. Parker or Patsy or whomever,
we, received these letters, in June, the last part of June, and, it's my recollection that, you know, the commission has authorized proceeding with the consolidation or merger of Sun Valley and Hepzibah. So, you know, I moved forward and had our president sign. I have not forwarded based on the question that we have, but to have the president sign that, the commission had authorized that. And when I mentioned that, it was my understanding that it would be covered by the approval of consolidation and merger, for the expenditure of funds for accounting and legal work, not operational maintenance items, just accounting and legal work related to the consolidation and merger.
all right,
And that's why it was not on a previous agenda, but the questions came up. So we put it on the agenda for further consideration or discussion, whatever the commission would so desire.
and I feel that, Greater Harrison will be coming forward probably with something similar, right?
Yes,
When we do,
I mean, Greater Harrison Coons Run, it's my recollection and understanding that the commission has authorized those projects or those matters, and the related cost with that would fall under that. But that's your gentleman's decision, or,
and the funding for that is general fund out of, county
Yeah.
commission money.
yeah.
All right,
And just as a side note, while I'm thinking of it, we did receive the reimbursement from Greater Harrison on the money that we had been upfronting for the right-of-way, purchases.
all right.
$210,000 or something like that. So that money has been, repaid or reimbursed based on our agreement we had with Greater Harrison.
All right, Mr. Parker, what do we need on, this, agreement?
Yeah, that's the commission's understanding. It's a matter of confirming that understanding or changing that.
Okay, David?
Well, I guess this all got started back to an email sent to you and I and Patsy on, July 22nd. And it was addressed, attached as legal services accounting agreement.
Oh, that's right, it was a bill, wasn't it?
Also attaches the invoice from Bennett and Dobbins for accounting services. Also attaches listed invoices for worker supplies Sun Valley has provided a large debt ball. Please note the listed invoices is ongoing. Now, as of July 22nd, we hadn't signed any agreements as far as Sun Valley was concerned.
Yeah,
And I didn't know we agreed to invoices between the two CSDs.
we have not agreed to in your agenda packet, there's a Hepzibah invoice totals fiscal year 2019, 2020, the last 2 or 3 pages of that area. And it starts off and lists the invoice number, you know, the water amount, sewer amount, et cetera. Over on the right, that's the payment from Hepzibah, to Sun Valley. So Hepzibah has been paying, you know, and there's, you know, some of these invoices, it looks like the last payment was in April 15th, 2020, at least according to this spreadsheet. So the meetings that I've went to, they have been paying, they've been a little bit in arrears as they get the funding. So my understanding of the spreadsheets is it's for informational purposes. Yes, that April, May, June, and just one invoice in July, that, Sun Valley has been performing this operational maintenance work under their management operations agreement. Hepzibah has been reimbursing and paying Sun Valley PSD when the funds are available. These are the charges and these are the reimbursements.
Okay.
We have not agreed, that I know or recollect, to make any payments other than legal work and accounting work associated with the merger for the Sun Valley and Hepzibah. That's my understanding.
David?
As long as that's the understanding.
All right, it's just moving forward for the consolidation purposes.
Yes.
Kathy, anything?
The cap's out at 70 and 70 for 147.
All right,
70 and 30.
so a motion to reinforce that?
If that's the general consensus, it would not take any action if that's general
Okay.
consensus of the commission.
You're happy with it, Mr. Parker?
I'm happy if the commission's happy.
All right, item 10 is, discuss and consider a letter from the county clerk for a employee step increase. Need a motion to approve. I think, Susan, what you're doing is preparing somebody to assist, in a projected retirement in 2 months, getting them ready. Questions, David?
I don't understand what we're doing.
Susan?
Well, I explained it in my letter, and I feel any more explanation is not to happen in the public, so.
I'm happy to move to executive session.
Second.
All right, we'll, defer that for, an executive, session. All right, item, 11. It's removal of the half-day holiday, or administrative, whatever it is, on the Friday, September 4th, since, we usually do that for Italian Heritage Festival, and this year, we're not gonna have the blowout with the courthouse and all that. Is that correct, Mr. Parker?
My understanding, Mr. President.
All right, what's the pleasure of the commission?
Motion for,
All right, all in favor, say aye.
uh,
So just make sure that's, recorded, Willie.
Did you second it?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because I didn't second it.
All right. You want to second it, or?
Actually, a motion doesn't require a second, just the information.
Well,
hey, David.
last week it did because the motion died, because nobody seconded it.
Okay.
So you can't have it both ways.
Hey, Ross,
Yeah.
if David wants to keep that next thing, I don't care.
Yeah, that's fine.
You wanna keep it, Dave?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Withdraw.
Motion,
All right, so,
vote on it now.
so,
Vote on it, and I'll vote no.
You can just withdraw your motion.
Okay, withdraw.
all right,
And so it's the general consensus of the commission, just so my understanding,
so we're gonna have a half a day off,
half a day off on Friday the 4th,
the 4th,
as previously
Paid.
approved in January.
paid.
Okay. That's
Yes, sir.
just,
Courthouse has done that for the last,
yeah, not a problem. I just wanted to,
But
yeah.
again, the reason why we did it before was because of the festival.
Yeah.
So now we're not having a festival, but you still get a half day off. That's good.
Great.
I think I'll take it. All right. All right, Mr. Parker, so, we have a motion to keep it as half a day. All in favor, say aye. Item 12 is review, discuss, and consider budget transfer for the Office of County Clerk within departments. So this is within Susan's budget. All she's doing is creating line items.
For the last fiscal year, just cleaning up the last fiscal year, that ended in June 2020 within her own departments.
All right. What's the pleasure?
Motion to move forward.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Item 13, review, discuss, and consider contract, for electronic poll books. Mr. Parker.
This was the project that the commission has previously approved and moving forward and applying for a grant. If I remember right, it covers 85%
Yes.
of the cost, and the commission's responsible for 15% of the cost. And this is the contract based on applying for that grant and receiving that grant. That grant has been awarded, or been notice of award.
All right. What's the pleasure?
Motion to move forward.
All right. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Item 14 is a letter from Frontier releasing Harrison County Court from a claim. Mr. Parker?
Frontier previously filed a notice of a claim against the, county commission for damage to some of their, lines or assets. And we sent them a letter that you're talking to the wrong party, so they have released us from that notice and redirected that claim to the Greater Harrison Public Service District. For informational purposes, no actions required.
All right. Just for information.
Yes,
File
but
for information.
part of today's record.
All right, motion to that effect. Make it part of today's record.
That's what I would recommend, yes.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? You want to do comment before we go into executive session, David, or what?
No. No, I mean, I'd like to get that out of the way. I've got a meeting at 11:30.
All right. So, motion to go into executive session. All in favor, say aye.
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 For West Virginia Code 69A-4.
Thank you very much. Susan, stay around. Johnny, put us on, mute with everybody. We will come back out and do public, commission comments
6:40.
All right. All right, for those of you that are still with us, we're back in session. Motion to go, back into regular session.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. All right, on to item 10, what's the, pleasure?
Move to approve.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Now we're down to commissioner, comments. Mr. Hinkle, Commissioner Hinkle.
I brought a board today to show the commissioners
And show Zoom too.
and Zoom. This is a layout of the airport.
With the development? All right.
This includes, 279 and
Here, David, I'll hold it and, share with, the viewing public what we have.
this is existing terminal. This is where the new terminal will be going. At the airport, we're in the process of getting ready in September, October to start moving dirt here. The county owns this. This is property that the county is going to be acquiring from the airport.
This is 279 for, reference.
279. When this is all said and done, this will allow for between here and here, will allow for 1.5 million square feet of manufacturing and warehousing. Right now, we have started a park here, already have a building up. We're in the process now of starting a new park here. So around the airport, there's lots of development going on for manufacturing.
This development here is right off of Route 50 and 76. Already got a commitment for a couple of buildings there. And then this is going up Airport Road. And how many acres over here, David?
24 acres.
So we got 24 acres and it's already site developed there.
So it's just to give you an update of what's going on around the airport.
Any words, from your governor, on Monday?
He's very excited. He thinks that, it's one of the best projects going on in the state right now, and I think we'll be seeing more funding hopefully come from the state to help us finish.
All right. Anything else?
No.
Patsy?
You just got a phone call from the DNR. They're gonna ask to be on the, agenda and speak, at the beginning of the meeting. I'm assured them that, to answer any questions about the roads for Trails when it comes to the fiber optic cable going through. Steve McDaniels has been directed to come to us and, assure us of any question we have, concerning that, Willie.
All right. I know we've sent, some follow-up questions, comments.
He has those.
Okay.
And then the other thing I wanted to ask is, have you made any progress on the property on, Route 19, the families wanting to turn over to us?
Down there at Erie,
Oh, Huxtable.
Epsyball.
Ms. Schaefer has been following up on, is that the Hart?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ms. Schaefer has been following up on that. I'll have to check the status.
Yeah, give us something on it, and then I'll share with Ron and David, this is at American Huntington or Harrison County or where it is. We're not gonna make out on this. This is tax dollars that's going into the system to beautify whatever it is you want beautified because of the dilapidation. We know that we're using tax dollars for the purpose of hopefully creating green space or an opportunity for somebody to add on or buy, build, or whatever it is. If we're gonna look for a piece of property that's without any stipulation that's dilapidated, well, it got dilapidated probably because the family couldn't afford to take care of it, nor did they want to, or nor were they going to. So there's probably something, you can dig up on that. I can say this, I think all of us in this room understands that our stuff is caught up because we pay to keep it up. So, anyway, I'd just like to update on that. And then the last thing I did is, the last thing I have is, Yeah, that's it, that's all I have.
All right, I have no comments.
I've got one. Patsy jogged me, the people down at Wallace, where we tore the bank down, knocked the bank down, is that right, for Reynolds, which one was it?
Wallace, that building that fell into the road.
Yeah, I got an email that, where we fenced, the fence is coming down, the brush is growing out through. the
It's an
fence,
eyesore.
And I'd like to, if we can't get maintenance down there, at least try to.
Okay, we can do that.
Who owns that I mean, is there any way to get that out of there? Who can we?
Out of state
From now state.
owner, and we've been in contact without success. I mean, we took emergency actions because of the condition of the building to knock it in a
Out
pile.
in the road.
That'll be a big one.
Well, if we can at least get down there and get it,
Okay,
the brush cleaned up, fence straightened back up,
That poor house is right next to it.
yeah.
Was it
and
taxes, was the taxes paid up on the day?
No, they haven't paid taxes, it's, I think it's back in the state, isn't it?
it may be or going this year to the
Oh, yeah,
state,
one or the other.
one or the other.
When will we be able to sell that on the courthouse stuff?
Sorry, it didn't.
Yeah, no one purchased it, so the state,
State owns it.
state owns it, and then the state has to have an auction.
All right?
Is there
Then I can
anything
have
the
Ms.
state-
Schaefer
is there
follow
anything
up.
the state can do?
No.
They don't have, I gotta throw it out there.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they'll stay away.
The only thing that we've, that's been kind of helpful is everybody's turned a blind eye to people down there taking birds.
But there's still a lot more of them to be
Oh, I
taken.
know, but that, they're not as bad as it used to be. Pretty much, how it's been disappearing is one brick at a time.
I keep waiting for somebody like Gene Papa to get down there and stack them up, and he sells the crap and makes money. I mean, he really does.
That's not a bad idea. Is there somebody we could?
All right.
Motion adjourned.
We have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I was waiting on that one, David.
End all, Johnny. Down there at the bottom.